I was just like shooting him questions, like interrogating him. I mean, interviewing him on like, what's this church believe? Like, this type of stuff. Because I didn't want to waste my time, like, a year or two at a church, and then you realize, okay, this is not the place for me.
Yeah.
And so he goes, well, why don't you come into my office? And I'm like, oh, no.
You already got called to the principal's office.
Exactly. And I totally avoid the principal's office. And so he had asked Michelle and Ed to come into the office, and I just kept asking him questions, and I was like, do I have to dress up? Do I have to grow my hair long? Do I have to wear skirts, And
Eleanor read this for us, but we're going to dare to read it again. Bones on the floor of the valley, bones that were very dry, and he asked me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I said, Sovereign Lord, you alone know.
Thank you so much for doing the podcast for us.
You're welcome.
We're very excited to interview you. I've had all of 3 hours to be excited about it.
Wow.
More time than we usually have.
Yeah, great.
So thank you for filling in.
Yes.
My dad was not feeling good. I think that just means he doesn't want to talk to us.
I was just hoping that he had handpicked me to be his replacement.
We'll just go with that.
Okay.
So something we always like to start out with is, what is your favorite color? And what does that say about you as a person?
My favorite color is blue. And what does it say about me? There's many, many shades of blue. I just think blue is a great color, and I actually struggle with decorating with colors other than blue. So.
And what does that say about you?
I'm a creature of habit.
And you like choices within confinement. You're confined to the color blue, but there are options within that.
Yes.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
And you have your blue Carhartt sweater on.
Yes. Have you ever noticed how many Carhartt shirts I actually have?
Do you have a lot?
Yes.
I've recently seen a Carhartt bib and jacket on Facebook Marketplace. So cute. And I was like, oh my goodness, I should buy this.
For Gwen or for you?
Well, for Cyrus.
Oh, for Cyrus.
But I was like, we just are not the family to have that.
Why would a baby need?
Well, it's not infant. It was 12 months. But winter. Because winter, and because it's cute. And then he looks like a working man.
Yeah,
but nobody in our house does anything like that.
I was actually searching for a long-sleeved Carhartt onesie type thing for Violet. And I was like, I don't care if they like Carhartt at all. It's about me. And they can just put it on her on a Sunday. And
well, and it's good quality, though. Yeah. But, and I feel like it would make sense for their family. Because Joseph does, hands-on, already work.
I wear Carhartt pants pretty much every day at work.
See? Yeah. Josh does
all my coworkers make fun of me. They're like, why aren't you just wearing gym shorts? That's dumb. Why would you wear those fancy pants?
Fancy pants. Is that what they call you? Your nickname at work is, hey, fancy pants.
My nickname at work is Safari Hat.
Oh.
Because I wear a wide brim hat because I sunburn so easily.
Yeah.
And I hate wearing sunblock, so I get called Safari Hat.
Oh.
If I have a nickname, it's Safari Hat.
I think fancy pants is better.
Probably.
So you were wearing Carhartt and a fancy hat. They probably think that, who is this guy?
Pretty much.
Poser. Just faking it.
Yeah. You got a disco ball hanging from your
So I know it's kind of like a trend right now that, Carhartt is cool.
Yeah.
But have you been, a Carhartt person for a long time? Or are you part of the fad?
I don't think I'm part of the fad, but I am also, I have this horrible habit where if I find something I like a shirt or pants, I will buy the same exact style, just in different colors.
Back to the blue.
Exactly. Maybe I should have this renewed.
And you live on a farm, so I feel like that makes it, and you do manual labor.
Yeah.
So I feel like that makes it pretty legit.
Yeah.
Like you're not just some office worker wearing
Yeah.
a Carhartt beanie
Yeah.
or something.
It's
like
just
that.
because I can go into a store and I know exactly what size I need, and hey, I
And
don't
you
have
know you like this.
yeah, and I don't have that color, but I know it's going to fit me, and so boom, there we are.
Mm-hmm. Quick decision making.
Yeah, it's like
that.
a-
Like then you can like not spend your life on trying on jeans and crying. I don't do that, but I'm just like I know some people do that. You know, it's not me.
Yeah, I don't like shopping for jeans.
Nobody
I don't
does.
like trying things on at the store. I'd rather go home, and then if it doesn't fit, then it sits in my trunk for 3 months till I give it to Goodwill. And
Yeah, I
It's
don't like.
horrible.
I wonder if that's like a. I don't know. I don't like returning things.
yeah, I don't.
It just
either.
just feels like a lot.
Yes.
Well, it's an admission of I failed.
Oh, maybe
Isn't
that's
it?
made the
It's
shame
probably a
and
thing. I
failure.
don't like failure. I mean, I did return something to Amazon once, and I was very proud of myself. I
Wow.
felt very accomplished.
That is like harder though. I feel like because you gotta like package it back up.
Yeah.
Then you got to drive it in, and you have to have
I feel like it's an anxiety,
Mm.
kind of like responding to text messages you haven't responded to for a week. I feel anxiety about that. You know, maybe I should renew that.
Maybe you should.
So Alicia,
Yes.
what is your earliest memory?
My earliest memory is in a farmhouse, and I think maybe we were moving in or something, and there was lots of books, and I was in the living room with my sister. My sister and I were 22 months apart, and I was kind of like her, I don't know, protector or, whatever. And I think that's the earliest I remember.
How old do you think you were?
I feel like maybe 3-ish. I don't know. Is that early?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably my earliest. My earliest memory I think is around 3.
Okay.
Yeah, Blade Molinex, his earliest memory was like
8 months or something.
8 months. He was like nursing or something like that. Anyways, he talked about that.
He
in his
might need to have
podcast.
that renewed. That's
But I
horrible.
think he's the exception. For me, it's probably around 3.
Yeah, I think that's normal. 3 to 4.
What about how?
Oh, I can't think of anything. My brain isn't working as well.
Oh, okay. Well, you've already talked about it on the podcast. What
Yeah,
your
we could just go back
earliest
and.
So people can go back and look at that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you were in a farmhouse. So did you grow up in that farmhouse or?
No. We lived there, and then we lived in a different house. And then I remember, like, walking. I felt like a very long distance with my mother because she wanted to look at a house, and we looked at it, and then we ended up moving into that one, and we lived there for several years. And that was in Davenport. And then when I was 12, we moved to Ottumwa. And then I think shortly after we got married, we moved to Anamosa and then Springville. And that's where we're at now.
So what was your family like growing up?
It is a melting pot of different relationships. My dad had a marriage where he had 4 girls, and then my mother, she had a marriage where she had my older brother and sister, and then those relationships didn't work, and so her and my dad got together, and that's how things happened. And it was me and my sister. And
That's your sister Stephanie, right?
Stephanie's my oldest sister.
Oh, Stephanie's your older
And
sister.
then my younger sister, the one that we're 22 months apart. And then my parents split when I was like 12. And then when we moved to Ottumwa, she met Scott, my stepdad, and then he had 3 children. So I technically only have like 1 full biological sibling. So it's a big
But how many halves? I like stopped at 6.
4, 6. 6 halves, 3 step, and 1 biological.
Okay.
Yeah, full.
Mhm.
And we look nothing alike.
So, growing up in Davenport, what do you remember from that?
I remember like it was the classic like you stay outside all day. You had to be home by the street light.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of bike riding. We were always at the park during the winter. We lived like close to a bank parking lot, and we would they shoved all the snow, so we'd build forts in there. And I mean, we were just out for hours, and walked to school, walked home from school, did chores Saturday morning, and then you could watch some cartoons. And basically, it was a lot of like just playing with toys and dolls. And in the basement, we had a pantry, and we had a snow blower, and my sister and I would pretend that that was our grocery store. And then from very young, I had wanted to always sack groceries for some reason.
That was your life goal.
And so, like, I would sack the groceries, and I'd put them on the snow blower, like I was wheeling them out to somebody's, car and stuff like that. And then, lo and behold, one of my first jobs was at Hy-Vee sacking groceries.
Wow. Did you feel like you made it?
Yes.
Been preparing your whole life.
Yes, I was. They had no idea.
They had no
what
idea,
kind of
but-
employee they were getting.
That's funny.
So yeah.
Was it just you and your sister for the most part, or did your mom's kids?
Yeah, so I grew up
there.
with Stephanie and Tony, and then it was just the four of us for,
Okay.
most of my years.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
What was school like?
School?
Yeah. For you,
Um,
elementary, middle school.
yeah, elementary, you might find this hard to believe, but I was actually very, very shy. I was very quiet. I was perfectly fine if no one ever noticed me. And then I did play soccer a little bit, but I never really had a lot of friends or anything. And then I remember I started playing softball in about 4th grade and kind of had some friends. And then after we moved, I was just kind of the wallflower again. So.
And is that how you liked it, or did you, when you moved?
I think the moving and my parents splitting, it was pretty difficult. And I think you have emotions you don't recognize until maybe you're older, and then you're kind of like, oh yeah, I was pretty ticked off, or whatever. Yeah, I just was very quiet and didn't know how to come out and talk to people, and I didn't really want people to know me or whatever. So
Yeah.
I just avoided all of that.
So growing up, what kind of a relationship did you have to God?
So I grew up in the church. I think the first church was an open Bible church. And then I was in kindergarten when my grandmother died, and then we started going to a Methodist church. And then once we moved to Ottumwa, we started going to a Nazarene church. And that's probably where I would say my relationship grew the most. And that was kind of more towards my teenage years. And so I would say that I was probably saved around 14-ish. And then I chose to be baptized when I was 16. And so I got baptized in the old YWCA swimming pool.
Nice.
In Ottumwa, Iowa. So, yeah.
So what led up to that when you were 14 and you accepted Christ?
They just did an altar call, and I don't know, I was just feeling the spirit, I guess, and then I guess choosing to be baptized, I guess I felt convicted about that, it being my own choice and stuff. I realized it was a little bit later, but yeah. And then I kind of went through a period where probably late teens, when I moved out, I always say I fell off the wagon or whatever. But then once we got children and stuff, then I felt kind of convicted again, I wanted them to have a good foundation. And so then we went seeking out church again, so.
So were your parents Christians then?
My mom always has been. Maybe my dad's a little questionable. Towards the end of his life, he did accept Christ. But at that point, like, he was on hospice and things like that.
And so 14, that's early high school, you got saved then, like
Yep.
freshman year. And then you got baptized like junior year, is that?
Yeah. Probably
So then when would you say you fell off the wagon? Is that like college? Did you go to college?
I did some college to be a paramedic, but I would say, I don't know, like late teens, early 20s. I was kind of, I don't know, like experimenting with like drinking and things like that. And so it's like I knew it wasn't right, but that's just what I was doing at that time, I guess. And yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, in school they would tell you that people are always offering you free alcohol and drugs, and I just did not have that experience. Were people just offering free alcohol and drugs?
I didn't start drinking anything until I was out of the house. My mother put the fear of God in me. I did get caught smoking in the house once, and that was pretty devastating. Like, oh my goodness. Like, I would have rather have had, like, a really good whooping than disappoint my mother.
Mom.
Yeah.
Oh.
And, but for some reason, my dad smoked, and I was always just fascinated with smoking, so I smoked for a couple years, and then, drank a little bit, but I didn't do it while I was at the house because she told me not to,
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
So, you mentioned that, like, so you moved from Davenport to, was it
Ottumwa.
Ottumwa when you were 12.
Yep.
And then you moved to, and you were in Ottumwa until you were married? Is that right? So how did you and Kevin meet?
So we met at work. I first started an EMT job down in Davis County, and he was in Ottumwa, and I didn't really like him at first. He was kind of a jerk, but yeah. So we met at work, and so I feel like I should share it, but he was technically married, and that was kind of on the outs, and he needed a place to stay, and I had a place to stay, and so I let him move in, and then the rest is history.
Wait, how did you go from I didn't like him very much to he's staying with me?
Exactly.
He just tricked you.
Yeah, he tricked me. That's what it was. It's all his fault.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And so, like, during that time, so you're working as an EMT. What has that been like? I'm sure you just have, like, a billion things that happen every day.
Yeah. For some reason, I think from being like the time I was a freshman in high school, like I just knew that I wanted to work on the ambulance. And
After your goals of bagging groceries, you knew
Yes.
that was the next one. Okay.
yes, I actually left my job bagging groceries to go work on the ambulance.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I just knew I always wanted to work on the ambulance. I graduated high school at 17 and then started classes like a month later or something. And back then it was like your EMTI where you could start IVs. And so I started that while I was going through to paramedic class. And then once I became a paramedic, then I worked in Ottumwa. That job is very interesting. It's always been like a goal of mine just to be like, is like calm and cool, cool as a cucumber, in that type of job. Even though like, stuff's hitting the fan and bad things are happening, it's like you just got to stay cool. Because I remember when I was like first in EMT, like I was like 18 years old, and I would drive with lights and sirens, and my adrenaline was going so much that like my foot was like thumper on the gas pedal. You know, I was just like so nervous, so excited, like so much going on, and I'm like, you know, it was just horrible.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, and then one of my goals as a paramedic was to fly on a helicopter. And so one of the guys I used to work with down there, he was working up here in Cedar Rapids at St. Luke's on the helicopter. Called me up one day and he's like, hey, I'm going to quit this job. They're going to have an opening. You know, would you want to do it? And so I interviewed, ended up getting the job. And Kevin was not really thrilled about it. And so I turned the job down. And about 3 weeks later, I totally remember where I was. Like, I had all the windows down, sunroof was open, music was jamming, and they called me, so I had to roll up all my windows. And they're like, hey, we really would like to have you. You know, like, would you reconsider? And I was like, holy cow. And in those 3 weeks, like, Kevin and I had kind of worked things out and stuff. And I was, of course, like, I'm sure they've given the job to somebody else and stuff. And so I called him and I was like, oh my goodness, they want me to reconsider. And he's like, I think you should do it. So I drove twice a week from Ottumwa to Cedar Rapids, worked a 12-hour shift, drove home. And so I did that, I think, for around a year. And then we decided, like, we need to just move closer. And so we chose Anamosa. So.
Are you still doing that job now?
No.
Okay.
I stopped back in 2017.
Okay.
I flew for 13 years.
Wow.
And once my dad got sick and the kids, it just became a lot. And so I stopped flying.
That's, I had no idea that you could fly a helicopter.
Well, I can't fly one, but
You
I
were
was in the
riding it.
back. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Like
Taking
airlifting
care of people, yes.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. So like a lot of car accidents and like this baby needs to go to a different.
Well, I didn't do
Hospital kind of
babies.
thing. Okay.
You don't want me doing that. But yeah, it was very interesting.
So I feel like there's probably been times in my life that I've like looked up into the sky and seen a helicopter, and you were probably in that helicopter.
Potentially, yeah.
That's kind of weird.
So what is it that you do now?
So now I work as a medical examiner investigator.
Yeah, I know, that's so cool. I just want to get into it. I know exactly what you did.
So now, like that job, I've been doing that for 14 years. And so that allows me to work from home. And that was one of the draws to it was Kevin and I have always worked like opposite. So somebody was always home with kids. And so it allows me to work from home. And yeah, that's been a very interesting job. So.
And so from, you know, CSI Miami and from Criminal Minds, what you're doing is are you going to crime scenes at all?
Yes.
And looking at so like you should talk about that. Like what are you doing when you get there?
So when I get there, I'm usually like collecting the information about the person, about what's been found. Was that the original location that they were at, or did they move them? So there's a lot of that stuff, figuring out like what their medical history is, and then if I find anything suspicious, or if like somebody's lying about a timeline, you know, like I saw them 20 minutes ago and they have like full rigor and stuff. It's like somebody's lying, and you better tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Don't make me get the fly swatter. So that type of stuff, and then it's just determining their cause and manner of death.
And so a few years ago, or was it just a couple years ago, you said you were on a crime scene and you helped stop a serial killer.
Yeah, that was several years ago.
Okay, so yeah. How many years ago was that? Was it like 3 or 4 years ago?
No, that actual was...
That you was in the area.
Yeah, but it was like 10 years ago, I would say. But yeah, it was a gentleman that... And I wasn't even on call that day, but it was a gentleman that was just, you know, kind of went from place to place and stuff. And we believe that he's killed many other people. But yeah, I had to go testify at his court hearing, and it's just a little weird,
Yeah.
to be like, you kind of like look at him and, but yeah.
So could you determine that from the crime scene?
She had markings and stuff that made me highly suspicious of
This person has done this before.
not that they've done it before, but that someone had killed her. And so that's what I'm looking at when I go to the scenes, is there's different markings, and then you can tell like if someone's died or like somebody's moved them and different things. So those are the types of things I'm looking for.
How do you tell if someone has moved the body?
So you have lividity, which is like the pooling of the blood. And so there's like different colors of lividity.
So that's like where the blood is in their
Like
body.
settled.
Yeah, it's settled. So if someone's lying on their back, you should see all of your lividity on the back side of you. But it can change if they're moved. But if you have like a bunch of lividity on like one side, and then you start to see it like on the front too, it's like that person's been moved or like something's off.
So how much schooling did you need to be able to do this? How quickly can one get into it?
You're gonna laugh. I went to like a 1-week class.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And you've been doing it for 14, so I bet the 14 years have been more helpful than the 1-week class.
Yes.
That's so funny.
So a lot of it's like, I mean, obviously like experience and stuff like that. Yeah, it's been very interesting. And I mean, a lot of stuff like now it's like, okay, I've seen that before and stuff, but every once in a while you get something and you're like, oh, well, that's exciting.
That's new.
Yeah.
So you're excited by that kind of thing?
Yeah.
So does it freak you out? Is it in your dreams at all, looking at all those bodies?
I don't really have like dreams. It's kind of more like flashbacks sometimes. Like I'll see something that is like familiar, and then you just immediately think of a different scene. So it's kind of like flashbacks, I guess.
Do you think it's trauma?
Oh, I'm sure I have a little PTSD.
Yeah, from all of that. Has it made you like insane about safety at your house? Like someone's gonna come try to kill us, like lock all the doors and don't let the kids out?
No,
Really?
I'm more like just try it and see what happens.
Oh yeah, like you know what you're doing. I'm like, we need to turn. I don't know.
I guess the
Lock our
worst
doors
time
and
I had something was like, because when I was first an EMT at 18, we had a bad like suicide, and I slept with the lights on for like 6 months and had trouble sleeping and stuff. And for me, I was always like, if something's bothering you and you talk about it, like you're weak, that type of thing. And I just learned like over the years, like it's not good to be like that. I mean, it'll eat you alive. But then with Kevin and I doing the same job, we were both able to bounce things off of each other and both talk about, different things that we had to deal with. And then the other person actually understands because they've been through it, as well.
Yeah.
So that was probably helpful.
So what got you interested in this job? Like, why would you choose to do it?
That's a good question.
A little bit of insanity and.
I think one of the other gals that we flew with, she was an investigator, and just maybe hearing some of her stories, I was like, well, that sounds cool, and like I was working weekend package, so I was like, well, that's something I could do during the week, make a little extra money. So I went up to my boss and I was like, hey, if you would ever need another person, like, just let me know. And he's like, when do you want to go to class?
Wow.
And I was like, it's like sometimes you say stuff and then later on you're like, did I really mean that?
You probably didn't think he would agree so quickly.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So what are some of those other like signs you're looking for on a body? Like you mentioned the lividity thing. You can tell if a body's been moved. What else are you looking at?
There's a thing called petechiae, where it's like the little tiny red dots. I don't know, like if you've ever gotten sick and you've like heaved so bad that you leave like marks on your face.
Yeah.
So you're looking for that, and that it would be a sign of like strangulation.
So what causes that exactly?
So asphyxia.
Okay.
And so you'll see that on people. You'll see it in like the whites of their eyes. Sometimes you'll see it on the inside of their eyelids. It could be on their face. So you're looking for stuff like that to see if they had been asphyxiated. And part of the story had they been asphyxiated by an accident, someone else's hands, their own hands, that type of thing, is like kind of like a whodunit.
Yeah.
And is the story that someone is telling me even plausible?
Mm-hmm.
So do you really like the board game Clue?
I've never played it.
So rigor mortis, how long does it take to? I've always wanted to do a true crime podcast, so this is so great. How long does it take for rigor mortis to set in?
So there's some different variables as far as like temperature. If it's colder, it's going to be quicker. So there are some variables that way, but usually, a couple hours, they're going to start kind of stiffening up. And then if rigor mortis actually will release on its own, and that gives me a clue that they've been probably down around 24 hours or so.
So it eventually releases.
So is there a kind of bug that finds dead people that can tell you about the time of death?
So there is, there's actually, I read a book about it, but there's this place down south, and they actually have bodies donated to their cause, and they will actually bury bodies, and they study like bugs, and they study like the whole decomposition process.
Wow.
So
Like specifically human bodies?
yeah.
Wow.
So if you guys want to take a road trip,
I'm okay.
no, okay, all right.
I like to listen to it on YouTube.
Yeah, so there are you'll start out with like the gnats, and then you'll get flies, maggots. Sometimes you can kind of get an idea on like how big the maggots are, how many there are, different things like that.
So you have to count maggots?
No, I don't count maggots.
Just the size.
But I don't usually eat something with rice afterwards.
Oh, yeah. Ugh. There aren't like
a friend of mine when I was a kid, he told me that his mom would always like make him ramen noodles and like cut it up into little pieces for him, and so he was used to eating that. And then one day he thought he found, like, he was a little kid, he thought he found ramen noodles on the garage floor.
Oh no.
Turns out it was not ramen noodles.
Oh no, yuck. So there's not a lot of murders in the Cedar Rapids, Marion area though, right?
It's gotten a lot better. I would say the past 2 years has been pretty decent. We had a lot of gun violence and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah. So
there was a murder on Whittier. You know the road into Anamosa?
yeah,
Were you there?
no,
Oh, okay.
I was on vacation.
Okay, for that one. Well, and then there was one in Springville too.
Yeah,
Were you there?
no,
Okay.
Can you even tell us if you were there?
I could. Yeah. It's just, yeah. There's just been like 3 murder-suicides in the Springville area in the last year, and it's like super sad.
It is so sad.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. And I feel like there's probably, because I'm like in charge of like, everything kind of comes through me, and then I put it where it needs to be and stuff. But I feel like there has been an increase in like murder-suicides and like multiple, someone killing multiple people or whatever. And that's, I find concerning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
So when you like walk into a situation like that, are you ever interacting with like loved ones of the deceased person? And how like do you see that like as an opportunity to try and help them, or just do you? I know like like people will lie to you, so you can't just like be there, like just super compassionate. But like, how does that usually go?
I guess I'll start with like, some people are like, oh, I don't know how you can do this job. It has to be so hard. But the part of it is that can make me do my job is that I'm like disconnected from them. It's like, it's not my family and stuff. And I know I still have a job to do. Most of the time, I'm compassionate, if you can believe that.
You can believe it.
So, I mean, I do feel bad for people and stuff, and I kind of base things off of how they're reacting. Like, if they are just, like, talking to me a lot and things like that, then I'll help try to talk them through things. I also try to let them know that, like, I'm not law enforcement. I'm not there to arrest anyone. I am there to figure out what happened to their loved one, and you know, if they're lying to me, sometimes I'll sit down with people and I'll be like, hey, like, this isn't adding up. Can you just tell me what's going on and stuff? And sometimes they will, and sometimes they won't, and you know, that's okay. I'll find out regardless.
Yeah. So are most of the like murders, they're like people who know each other? It's not strangers, right? But you said gun violence was pretty bad.
We had some stuff where like one group of gang members would shoot, and then there was a lot of retaliation, and so you kind of knew like something was coming and stuff, and so there was a lot of that for a little while. Yeah, recently it's just been kind of like the murder-suicide stuff. So,
My goodness.
yeah.
That is really sad.
Yeah.
So, we've been talking about dead people a lot,
Yeah.
but we haven't been talking about you a lot.
Oh.
So,
Scratch, let's start over.
going back to like when you and Kevin first met and you guys moved in together, when did you guys get married?
Probably like 2 years after that. We got married in my mother's backyard. And in a couple weeks, we've been married for 22 years.
Wow.
And, yeah.
And so when did kids come into the picture?
So I had always known that I wanted kids. Kevin didn't have any children, and so he wanted kids as well. And I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and so I've never conceived at all. Wow. And so we were pretty frustrated by that and stuff. And then I remember driving, and there was something on the radio, and it was kind of like, it doesn't matter like where your family comes from, just the fact that you're a family. And so then we chose to be foster parents, and our first placement were twin boys. They were 6 months old, and we had them for like 6 months, and I was pretty devastated when they left. Yeah. And so after that, I was kind of like maybe trying to protect my own heart or something, but I was like, oh no, we're not doing that again. Like, we're playing for keeps, you know? And so we had gotten some phone calls, and it just didn't seem like the right, you know, thing and stuff. And Kevin and I were both working nights. And so I remember getting a phone call, and they're like, what do you think about like 3 brothers? And we were like, okay, like, talk to me, you know?
Give me the info.
Yeah, and they were like, they're 3, 5, and 6. And so I was like, huh. Like, we had always thought baby. And I'm thinking, wow, baseball, bikes, swimming, you know, that type of stuff. And then I was like, well, like, can we meet them before we say yes, we'll take them? I mean, I just want to make sure they didn't have like 3 eyeballs and stuff like that. And they were like, yeah. So we drove and saw them, and I was so nervous that day, but like they seemed like really great kids. And so then, like, I think a month later, they moved in. And then 5 months later, we went to a court hearing, And Kevin just off the cuff told our worker, now we just need a little girl. And she called the next morning at 7 a.m. and she's like, were you serious about a girl?
I like want to cry.
And I was like, I'm holding the phone going, do we really want a little girl? And she's like, I have a 4-day-old baby girl still in the hospital. Do you want her? And I'm like, do we want her? And so he was like, yes. And so we said, okay, we'll take her. And she was there at noon.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I remember the boys got out early that day. And like we had like all boys. So we just had all boys stuff. And so Kevin picked up the boys. They went to Walmart, bought a bunch of pink stuff, you know, and she's been with us ever since.
Oh
So
my
what
god.
are all your kids' names, just for people who
Yeah,
don't
so Caleb is 23, Corey's 21, Caden's 19, and then Natalie is 16, and then Levi is 8. And then 8 years, we thought we were done because I have a thing with numbers. And so it either had to be 4 kids or 6.
Yeah.
Had to
And
be even.
yeah, it has to be an even number. And so then 8 years later, Levi came into the picture, and so we took him too. So
Wow. I can relate to some of your story of having PCOS because I have the same thing, and I had conceived before, but we had a couple miscarriages, and then we were like, well, we should consider foster care and taking children in, and we were gonna like start that process when I got pregnant with Gwen, but we were gonna do a very similar thing of
Yeah.
like, let's just, like, I'm happy with taking children, we
Yeah.
should just do that.
yep.
So what has that experience been like trying to, you know, like you said, you listened to that thing on the radio that was like, family is, I forget exactly what you said, but like family's like who you're with and who you choose to make your family. What has that experience been like trying to make everybody family?
I don't think I realized how big of an impact it had on my life until about 2 years afterwards. Because I'm just like, what did we just do? You know, like taking 4 kids in like that. But I mean, looking back on it, like some of my best memories are when the kids were little and we were busy and like we rode bikes everywhere, and it was just fun when they were, you know, little. It didn't feel like it was fun at the time sometimes, but like looking back, I'm just like, yeah, we had a lot of fun, you know. And I never believed anybody when I was younger that they're like, time just flies, you know. And I think about like if you know, a baby from birth to 18, I mean, it seems like a really long time, but it is just, it goes so fast. And just how much the kids have to grow and mature in that amount of time, like, holy cow. I mean, it's so fast. And so I certainly feel like I could have done things differently with like parenting and stuff when I was younger, but now I'm older and wiser. Not any taller and not any skinnier, but I'm older and wiser. Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good time.
So how did you figure out being a mom though? Like, because you start off with a little baby, and then, or you have 9 months to get used to the idea at least.
Not
And
5
then-
hours.
Yeah, not 5 hours, and then getting a 3-year-old and a however
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
Like suddenly, how did you figure that out? Like, how did you navigate having toddlers all of a sudden?
Yeah. I mean, like having nephews was good, you know, practice somebody else's kids. you
Yeah,
know?
you can mess them up.
Yeah. I just, like, growing up, like, I just had always wanted to be a mom. And I always paid attention to what my mom was doing, and, you know, nieces and nephews, change diapers, and just, I've always enjoyed kids. And so it just was kind of like,
It
well,
just clicked. It just,
yeah. And then I think foster classes, I mean, did help some of like what these kids could be coming in, what kind of trauma they might be having or what kind of issues they would be exhibiting and stuff. Natalie had some cocaine in her system when she was born. So, in between the 5 hours, I'm researching what do you do?
Like, you're not even just getting an infant. You're getting an infant that already has some trauma.
And so I'm just like researching all that and just trying to make sure everything's, right. And, just trying to do the best I could, and, you just kind of work into it, and, we just did crazy things for us, and it worked.
So you mentioned earlier that, once you got those kids, that you kind of realized, I haven't been taking this faith thing as seriously, or I want this for my kids. I need to be able to exhibit this to them. Can you tell us more, how did that come about?
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I just think, kids definitely change you.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you don't realize how much they change you until, you have them. But I think you want the best for them, and you want them to have a foundation and stuff. And I wanted them to have kind of what I had growing up. And so we had found a church in Monticello, and it was actually New Life Community Church of the Nazarene. And so we went there for 5 years. Pretty involved. I felt like, as the kids got older, Stephanie and our kids were the youth group. And I wanted more for the boys, because I think it's hard to open up when your mom is your youth group leader.
Yeah.
And so I wanted them to have a different type of influence from someone else. And so I started searching around for, who has a Wednesday night program, who has a youth group and stuff. And so this church came up. And so I was like, okay, we're going to start when their first day, the school year and stuff starts. And I came in with the boys, and I remember Pastor Kurt coming up to me, and he was like, hey, I haven't seen you here before, And I'm like, well, you sure haven't. And I also don't like wasting my time, and I don't like wasting anyone else's time. And so, and I think he can attest, I think he still remembers, I was just shooting him questions, interrogating him, interviewing him on what's this church believe, this type of stuff, because I didn't want to waste my time a year or two at a church, and then you realize, okay, this is not the place for me.
Yeah.
And so he goes, well, why don't you come into my office? And I'm like, oh, no.
You already got called to the principal's office.
Exactly. And I totally avoid the principal's office. And so he had asked Michelle and Ed to come into the office, and I just kept asking them questions, and I was like, do I have to dress up? Do I have to grow my hair long? Do I have to wear skirts, And
do I have to grow my hair long?
And so, after the interview / interrogation was over, I was like, okay, I think this will be all right. And, I pretty much, I haven't left.
Yeah.
So,
well, it feels like you've always been here. You just kind of came, and then you were here.
Yeah.
And, just fit right in.
I just moved in.
I'm glad they didn't make you grow your hair out. It looks great. They told me I had to do that, so I have extensions.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I want to get kicked out.
That's why I have extensions as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just like, well, we don't care what you wear, Jesus doesn't care. And
Yeah,
I was like, awesome.
You're probably the first person to be like, do I have to dress up and do I have to grow my hair out?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So that's why I wear the same style of Carhartt shirt and flip-flops every
Because it
Sunday.
would be expensive to replace that,
Yeah.
That would be very inconvenient to replace all your Carhartt with
Yes.
jean skirts.
Yes.
Jean skirts. They probably
I'm pretty sure, when I die, I'm just going to hand out all my old Carhartt shirts to everyone that attends my funeral.
And I'm not going to say I'm looking forward to that, but that would be a great gift, Alisha.
None of them are going to be clean. They all have,
I
grease and stuff all down
I
the
don't
front
want to
of
look
them.
like a working woman. I'd take it. Don't
Alright.
die anytime soon, but
Yeah.
keep that in the plans.
All right.
So, I think that's kind of interesting that you went from New Life Community Church to New Life Community Church.
Mhm.
Did you just not want a change of name for the church?
It just happened to be that way.
It just happened to be.
I just had like this list of boxes, and the church just seemed to like check all the boxes, and so that's how it was.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Well, to think that you started coming to our church for your kids mostly. So are they in the youth group now, or but they all seem like the older ones seem older. Now.
The teenage years with my older children was less than stellar.
Tumultuous.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. And so I had they were in the youth group for a while. My oldest son, he came for a little while, but none of them are attending a church at this point.
Okay. So then it's maybe the church that you more have needed. You were
Maybe
looking-
so. I mean,
Looking for them, but
yeah, and I feel like, I mean, I was at a pretty, I would say, like a depressed state and stuff. And, I mean, I don't want to boast or anything, but I'm really proud of, like, how I've grown and grown in my relationship with God. And so maybe it was, like,
Yeah.
more for me than,
Yeah.
you know, the kids.
Well, it's definitely like, I mean, it's good to boast in Christ, you know?
Mhm.
Like, this is what Christ has done in my life.
Mhm.
You know, that's a really good thing. So what do you feel like led you to that point? You said you were feeling, like, depressed.
Teenagers.
I heard they can do that to you.
Yeah, just in general, teenagers.
Depress you. Toddlers too.
I would say like some of it probably I will take I mean it is part of it I feel like is my fault. Is basically like I grew up and it was like you walk the line, you know, and I tried to raise them like that, and like they weren't having it. And I think some of it was at that time I felt like if my kids behaved well and they were good kids, then that was a reflection of me and my parenting.
And that's not abnormal to feel that way.
Yeah. And so I felt like I parented more on control because I wanted control of the kids so they would act a certain way, and they clearly showed me that I had no control. And once they were teenagers, like they're not gonna tolerate that. And so they all basically like, you know, thought life was better outside of the house, and they all kind of took off early and stuff. And so I took a lot of that on myself as if it was completely my fault. And so that kind of leads you down a dark path and stuff. But then I just got involved in the church, started with like a Barnabas group. We talked about a favorite book earlier. I think Kurt's one of the ones that he's written, the Fruit book, was probably, I can like say for sure that was probably a turning point in my life, because it was, okay, this is what like a coping Christian is and stuff. And in ways it was hard to swallow.
Yeah.
Like where you are and stuff. And so I think eventually, you know, I've just kind of coming around and realized, you know, my own worth and stuff. You know, I carried shame a long time for like Kevin still being married when we got together. And so I always felt like I needed to be punished for some reason, like my whole life for that. And so, you know, I think I've just worked through a lot of stuff.
That's really good.
So
Thank God for Renew.
yeah,
Because that could take years. But
Yeah.
with Renew, that time is shortened.
yeah. So
So, you mentioned being in a Barnabas group. Are you still in that same Barnabas group, or
I am.
who are you in a Barnabas group with?
Is it a secret?
Oh, are they secrets?
I don't know.
I didn't know they were secrets.
Well, I was wondering if it's a secret. Well,
Well,
we'll cut
I
it
know,
out if it's
I know
against
that you're in a Barnabas group with my mother-in-law.
Yes.
So,
She's one of them.
Yes.
Who are the others?
I'm going to wink twice if she's in my Barnabas group.
I don't think they're supposed to be secret. I
No.
think like people, I don't know.
No, I'm in a group with Renee,
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, and Nikki Willis. And I love those ladies.
Yeah, those are a good group of ladies.
Yeah.
So, what do you appreciate? I know my mother-in-law listens to this. So, what do you appreciate about my mother-in-law?
What do I appreciate about her? I appreciate that she tolerates me and my jokes. That, like, she's not afraid to be like, you know, yeah, this is, you know, what I've done or, you know, whatever. And then the fact that if she disagrees, she'll tell you she disagrees and stuff. So I think it's good. The ladies in the group are just overall great ladies. Even your mother, Nathan.
So what do you think, like, has your personality always been the way it is now? Like, fun? Well, it doesn't seem like it was actually. Life of the party,
Nope.
making jokes. When did that happen?
Let's see. Probably when I started drinking alcohol. That's probably when I realized how funny I was. Well, and for a while, like, I felt like I don't know, like you believe this lie that people are only going to laugh or think that you're funny when you're drinking. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, that kind of helped loosen me up a little bit, I guess. But like when you work in EMS and see the things that you see, and I mean, you have to find some type of outlet or something. But then, I mean, I guess I started having more confidence and just realizing that I don't need alcohol to be funny. I mean, it's in my DNA.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
You are pretty funny. Oh, sorry. I forget what I was gonna ask.
All right.
Never mind.
Well, that made me forget what I was gonna ask.
It was something along the lines. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. You said like when I was drinking, I became funny, and I realized, oh, this is like something that I actually am. I think a lot of people, like, especially like younger adults or teens, I think they're really drawn to drinking and like the party life because they don't like all those fears that they have, like social fears, and the drinking eliminates that. And I think it's like, it's really hard to get past that as a person, like those kinds of fears. But how do you feel like, I guess in your own story, like how do you feel like you overcame that?
I guess some of it is like it's not good for me to drink. My father was an alcoholic, and it's kind of like once you get started, like you don't really stop, you know. And then I've had several, like there's been times where like for years I wouldn't drink at all. And stuff. I think it's just like more confidence in myself and just finally realizing that, okay, alcohol's not good for me. And then you just kind of, I don't know, I guess I stopped caring.
Yeah.
Like what people thought, you know. And now even when I go to scenes and I talk to family members and stuff, I mean, I can get people laughing before I, you know, leave or something. It's when they don't get the joke that's a problem, because then it's just like awkward silence.
Yeah.
But
So where does that desire to be funny come from? Is it a desire, or is it just something that's natural? Like, do you seek to make people happy, or is it just, you know, it's just how you are and the results are the results?
I mean, I do like to make people happy. I also think that I always have like funny things coming up in my head. And I just have to share them with people. But, and sometimes I think it's a stress response. Like I don't know what else to say or do, and so then I'll just like crack a joke or something. Like it's horrible. I mean, it's not horrible, but you know. Yeah, so and sometimes I just think of weird things, so.
Well, you're a fun kind of funny person because there's like people who can be funny and it's mean. You know,
Oh,
there's mean funny,
yeah.
which is not funny at all.
Yeah.
And then there's I don't know the other kinds of funny, but you're not that. You're good funny.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be like funny and like truly
Other people
offend someone.
Yeah, like other people expense.
Except for my sister Stephanie, like.
Oh, when it's family, it doesn't count.
Oh, okay. You tell her that.
So have you ever considered stand-up comedy?
Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, is I am not a public speaker, and I learned that the hard way. It just has to just happen. I can't just stand up and someone be like, "Okay, be funny." I'm like, you know.
Like you don't think you could take all of the weird things in your head that pop up and just write them down, and then just say that. But I guess you have to make a story with it, don't you?
Yeah, like it would have to be like scripted or something. But I guess maybe I'm just unscripted.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you'd have a lot of material to work with because people think like death is funny sometimes
Sometimes.
because like we're uncomfortable with it,
Mhm.
and so I feel like there's that response of like joking about it or something. So I don't know. I think you could do it.
I sent,
Yeah, just make
I
fun of all
sent
the
somebody
bad-
a thing like they had this. It was like a homemade cremation kit. I thought it was hilarious, and so like I sent it to a bunch of people on Messenger, and then like somebody did not find it funny, and I was like, oh,
And you gotta read your crap.
what do I do now? You
It'd be
know.
really, really funny if it was like a self-serve cremation.
Oh. I always tell the one guy at the funeral home, because we have our cremations paid for and stuff, but I was always like, you know, when I'm going to be cremated, I'm like, I'm so fat, you're going to put me in there and the whole place is going to smell like bacon.
But that's a real thing.
Bacon?
Well, like barbecue. Like this girl said she lived by a cremation building, and she just thought there was sweet barbecue going on, but it was like
I don't.
That's what she said.
I don't know. She
Well,
might
I
have
don't-
been making that up.
I don't know why
I'm
she
pretty
would.
sure burning flesh is like one of the worst.
Well, it
smells.
depends on
it's
like,
horrible.
but it depends on what you ate, don't you? Like, doesn't it matter like how fat the person was? Well, and I heard if
I
you're
don't
super
know.
fat,
Do
you
you
have
ever
to get
have
like,
to go
shipped
and
somewhere else.
examine burn victims?
Yeah,
How does that smell?
bad. Yeah.
There you go.
No, I think it depends. I gotta send you guys this video. This girl said it smelled like barbecue.
You might want to cut some of this out. Even like on the helicopter when people were severely burnt, I was like, you can have as much pain medicine as you want.
Oh.
Like it's horrible. And then when you deliver them to the burn unit, like they're just like this sterile table and they're just ready to,
Ugh.
yeah. It's horrible.
Well, that's not funny at all.
No. I do feel bad for those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
that
God.
does sound really awful.
Yeah.
Yikes! Who brought that up?
You did.
You!
Oh wait, no, I didn't.
And the sweet barbecue?
Well, that was a response to something somebody else had said. I did not bring that
Applewood
up.
smoked
Oh my gosh!
Okay, this all has to be cut. Somebody's gonna see this and I'm gonna lose my job.
Yeah.
Oh.
Alicia said.
Okay, so we'll change subjects now.
Yeah.
I think your guys' property that you have
Oh, okay.
is really cool. So when did you guys move to that house out in Springville?
Okay, so we moved there about the time that we got Levi. Levi was like 8 months old. This all kind of happened all at once. My dad, they said that he wasn't safe to live by himself, and so he moved in with us.
Oh.
And so we lived in a 3-bedroom house. The kids all had the upstairs bedrooms. Kevin and I were sleeping in the dining room. My dad was sleeping in the living room. And we had Levi in a crib in the dining room with us. And we realized that we probably need more space. And so, and then like our oldest kind of started maybe getting in a little bit of trouble in high school. And I thought, maybe if we move somewhere different in like a smaller school, maybe that will help. And it didn't. But yeah, so now we have a large house with only 2 children at home. So if you want to buy it, like we could just trade out or
What
something.
if I just move in?
Oh, you could live in the basement.
Yeah, is it nice?
Yeah, it's all redone.
You have experience with that.
I don't think I went in your basement when I came
Yeah.
over to your house.
Mom moved in with us and they completely redid the basement. It's a whole apartment down
I
there.
gotta see this house.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't been?
I've never
Big
been.
house.
Mm-mm.
I was
Right
thinking
there.
about having like, I need to have a fire and invite the women out so we can talk about the men.
That sounds like gossip. I don't know.
How many acres you can dress up, Joe? Come.
Well, we have 6 acres.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So, oh, sorry, go ahead.
And so we've like raised our own like beef and pork and chickens and all that out there.
That's what I was going to ask, is when you like moved out there, did you have the intention of doing that kind of stuff?
I had no idea what I was doing. We inherited chickens and I'm like, what? And then people name their chickens, I'm like, it's a chicken. Like, who cares,
Yeah.
And yeah, I had no intention of doing any of that stuff. And Kevin insists on like mowing basically all 6 acres, so I spend my life on the lawnmower. And but yeah, it's nice to like not have neighbors, and we're out there by ourselves, and
That's like the dream.
I just stay on my. People will be like, "Oh, do you know this person?" And I'm like, "Nope." I know Anne. I drive by after I drop Levi off at school. I wave at her every morning.
I like drive
about
through
it.
Springville, and it just doesn't look like there's a place with 6 acres that's not near anybody.
Yeah, it's out on the highway.
In Springville, we should buy that house, Joseph. Like our families, and I don't know where you would go. I guess.
Let's just move in.
Well, I thought it would be cool to have, since we have the space, is do tiny houses. And so your family all live in like their own tiny house, and then
Yeah.
like you can come to the main commune or something and
The
all have
main
dinner.
commune.
Yeah.
And we go full cult.
Yeah, we'll start our cult out there and have Kool-Aid and stuff like that.
So
Newcomers have to wear the jean skirts.
How did you get from not wanting to do chickens to raising your own beef?
I think it's, I don't know, like, because then you know, like, what they're eating and, stuff like that. And so I think the food industry is so messed up,
Should we get into that?
and so I think there's a certain pride, too, in raising, like, your own animal and your own meat and stuff like that. The last cow we did was 1,000 pounds. And so we have 3 deep freezes. And so, yeah, I think there's a bit of pride in being able to do that. And then, but it is, even when it's 20 below, like, they aren't going to just take a day off from eating,
Yeah.
And it is a little bit of work and it's
Yeah.
time consuming.
So that 1,000-pound cow, how did you get that cow to 1,000 pounds?
Well, Kevin handles all that, like how much
Okay.
I'm supposed to feed them and stuff like that. But he was like a dog. Like he'd be out in the field like chasing butterflies. I'm
Did
like,
you eat that? I guess
well,
you figured it out.
yeah,
That sounds cute.
yeah. His name was Chuck,
Chuck.
like
Okay.
ground Chuck.
Yeah,
or
Chuck
roast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did name them kind of like that and stuff. And then people will come over and they're like, "Is this Chuck that we're eating?" It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but then like he would run over to the gate, to see you, and yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
So was Chuck just grass-fed or corn or?
grass, and then he had like grain and stuff like that.
To like finish him off,
Yeah,
because you get the nice fat.
but then you gotta we had to go down to Solon and get our feed and everything. So I mean, it is a process.
Is it pricier? Like is it pricey to do that?
Well, it came out to be like, I don't know, $3 or $4 a pound or something like that.
Oh, so that's cheaper than the store.
Yeah, but the amount of time that you keep them is probably longer, and I think it would be more. It would probably make sense financially if like you had several of them instead of just one, because you do put a lot of time and effort and grain into one. I've thought about like offering meat birds. We did meat birds a couple times, and then sometimes it's weird because it's like you raise them and then you process them and then like you can't eat them.
Why?
Like it's just weird to like eat them or something.
Oh.
Wow.
So.
Oh, you can sell them.
Have you found that, like, since you've been doing that, your health has improved at all?
No.
And what is your disbelief? No, not at all?
I'm still fat. Yeah.
Well, it's not about fatness. It's about other things, I'm
I
sure.
just can't get off the ice cream, man.
Well, maybe you can start doing milk.
Yeah,
and
maybe
make
you
your own ice
maybe you
cream.
can dairy cow and make your own ice cream.
No, we have considered, like when you process like your own like hamburger and then you buy stuff in the store, it's like gross. Like I don't even want to like cook it and stuff. And so I have considered like going to like a farm that does it as a business and buying half or quarter and stuff.
Yeah.
Because when you get 1,000 pounds all at once, like you can't just go through that in 2 months.
Right. A couple years at least.
Yeah, and so then I was thinking, like, get it from a company that does it and stuff, and then you're just changing your rotation, faster and stuff. So
what is your suspicion with the food industry?
I think it's all messed up.
In what ways?
If you were put in charge, how would you fix it?
Oh boy. Like if I was
Supreme leader.
Supreme leader.
of just the food
I
Food
guess.
industry.
or the whole country.
The food. Let's start there. Let's see how you do with
Let's
the
just
food.
start at the food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all the, like, let's go back to the way it was supposed to be. Like, why are we using all these chemicals? And, you have childhood obesity, and you have kids that are, like, the size of Bigfoot.
They're humongous.
Yes.
Kids are humongous anymore.
And so it's kind of like, does anybody not see some type of correlation, Yeah, and why are we like eating slime for hamburger and stuff like that? And it's all messed up, and you have all this autism and you have all this ADHD, and I think there's something
with food.
something in the water.
Fluoride.
Hot takes with Alisha Weber.
Well, I've been...
Wait, we didn't cover that. How do you say your name?
Alicia.
Alicia.
Yeah.
Alicia.
Not
Not
Alicia.
Alicia.
No. Or Alicia.
Alicia.
Or Allison, or Ashley, or whatever people decide to call me.
For maybe a year of knowing you, I would always whisper your name because I wasn't sure how to say it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Alicia.
Yeah, some people are gonna like, are you offended by that? And I'm like, no.
Well, for a while I was thinking, okay, I'll heal all of my health problems with food. But it just sounds so expensive and so time consuming.
It is.
Like to buy the like non-GM, the like grass-fed meats, but when you do that, that means, and you take the expensive vitamins, then you should not be eating all the food, all the bad stuff, because then it like cancels out the good things you're doing. Is that true? Because that's my qualm, is like, if I'm gonna spend extra money on like really good beef, then I can't be eating like Cheerios and ice cream and like, like a bunch of sugar.
But the thing is like, why should it cost to eat real food? Why should it cost so much more? Have you ever seen Joel, is it Saltine? Something like that?
Joel Salad Man.
Yeah. They call him the crazy something.
Saladin, yeah.
Yeah. But he, I watched this documentary, and he just rotates like his crops and stuff. So you have like the cows that are in the field, and then you have the chicken tractors behind them and stuff, and what they're doing, and you're fertilizing your own land by rotating your animals and your crops and different things like that, and you can sustain, you know, a healthy lifestyle and eating lifestyle like that. And some people think that he's just crazy, but I think it's just going back to your roots and the way things are supposed to be, instead of all of this mass overproduced stuff.
Well, and you know, I didn't gain weight until I came to America. It's probably because I was starving in Africa, but I don't know. I did not start putting on weight until I came to this country.
Okay,
So,
I went to Africa, and there were still some people that were a little on
those
the
are people that are doing really well for
on the
themselves.
thick side. Yeah, I don't know what they were putting in that rice, but I'm telling you.
Rice is, it's what we eat a lot.
Yeah, I think it was like a year and a half ago or something like that. I got like really crazy into researching like regenerative agriculture, like which is kind of what Joel Salatin does. And like I had myself really convinced I wanted to move out to a farm and do regenerative agriculture. It's really easy for me to convince myself that something is the plan for the rest of my life. And I'm broke, so I couldn't do that. But
You guys were so close on that plan, though, Joe.
but it does sound like a lot of fun. But I also I think I finally decided that I probably would not actually enjoy it because the whole like the animals don't take a break. Like I would need my animals to take a break. I'd just be like, I'd get to the point where it'd be like, you know what, you can die. I really don't care.
Have you
That's
guys
a lot of money.
Your dog? Your dog doesn't take a break. What do you do with her?
No, she's pretty easy.
I guess you guys have a fence.
Well, when she runs away, I don't chase her anymore. That's a lot easier now.
I let Zuzu out, and sometimes I hope go find a new family. She'll love you more. But she stays. She's such a good dog. She just stays, and she comes back every time.
Yep,
Yeah,
Luna
I
comes
have
back too.
bad dog stories out at my place.
Really?
Yeah, she likes to kill people's chickens, and then
Um,
I get yelled at.
Did you have to put her down?
No, but I did chase her with my gun once, and I said, I will kill you myself if you
My
come back here.
goodness.
Because you holler her name, and she looks at you, and then she just takes off running.
and
and I'm
that-
like, pew, 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 pew.
If I had a gun to do that, I would, yeah. Shoot my dog. I wouldn't. I love my dog. But, yeah, I feel like to do that kind of thing, you would have to be, certain personality types would have to be wealthy enough to have, like, a farm hand. I feel like, you know, the, like, real Jerra would live that way.
Mhm.
But the real Jerra needs, like, thousands and thousands and thousands more dollars than current Jerra has.
Well, and we've been blessed with, you know, basically like a hobby farm. Because I think the stakes are different when that's your living, you know, and if you don't succeed or whatever, or you have
Or if
bad
you-
weather or drought or, you know, whatever, that really affects that. But yeah, we've been blessed with being able to have it as a hobby farm. And when we first moved to that property, everything was so overgrown. And we didn't have like the tools that we do now to make life easier. Like we were out there with like an old car jack, like getting posts out of the ground and taking back this nasty fence and, you know, mowing all of it and stuff. And I mean, it's come, you know, a long ways and stuff.
Yeah. And you're a hardworking woman because you do all of that work yourself.
Well, my problem is if I sit down too long, I fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I just have to keep moving.
Yeah, that's why I would need the farm help.
Yes.
So I could see, Josh doesn't like that at all about me. I'm like, we should buy land and get a nice house. And he's like, but you don't like poop. And you don't like farm things. And you don't like these smells. Like, you don't like anything that would come with, like, what that would mean. And I don't get his argument, really. But it makes some sense.
Yes.
But I want good beef.
Yes.
And I want cute cows. I just don't want to have to like feed and water them when it's cold and poopy.
And their water will freeze sometimes, and you got to go out there and take care of that.
That happened with our chickens, and I was not happy when I had to go out there.
Or like, you know, if you are trying to take a nap and your cow gets out, you know, and you're right by the highway and
And you can't just
It
leave
sounds
it.
like a specific example.
Yeah, we had 2 cows before Chuck, and they had gotten out and went through like the farmer's field, and so you learn very quickly how to get animals back, and
Oh, yeah.
You just wrestled them, right?
yeah, that's what I did.
That's
what I
get on your
am.
horse.
That-
and-
Alicia Weber, the cow wrestler.
1,000-pound cow.
Yeah, yeah, yep. Yeah, and you realize like they're playful and they think that you're fun to play with, but they're dangerous.
Really?
Yeah, like they just step on you or something, you know,
Or
like
kick you.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Our neighbors, we had it really good because our neighbors had 2 cows, and so we could get raw milk, and they had chickens,
Mhm.
and so we could get chicken eggs and stuff. So we loved that we could go on vacation but reap benefits of living right there. And they have like goats and ducks now. We could go over there and like see the animals and not have to do
Mhm.
anything with them. But then animals come with other problems, and I think they like couldn't get pregnant anymore or something, and so they had to like butcher them. And we're really sad we're drinking regular milk again.
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't have your own children. You should just like be an awesome aunt or uncle.
I was really good at being an aunt, I think.
Yes.
But now we need a place for raw milk. You don't do that though?
No.
Hmm. What?
Well, I had a question. I keep forgetting it. At the beginning of today, I was talking to my wife, and I was like telling her all the things.
You're
that-
married?
Yes.
Oh.
I was telling her all the things I was going to be doing today, and then I thought about it for a second. I was like, by the end of the day, I'm going to run out of words because I just talked with a lot of people today.
Oh.
And are you saying that that's happening?
Yeah.
I'll carry the show.
Okay.
So, the last time I felt like you had to do that because I was sitting here like zoning out with Joni. I felt so bad. For the first time ever, Joseph said, "Do you have any questions?" And I said, "No, I don't."
Do you have any questions?
I do. I do
right.
now. So your older kids, this is not with the farm talk anymore. Your older kids are gone. Are any of them believers?
My oldest is, I believe. And then the other 2, I do not believe that they are. Natalie is not. Levi hasn't like gone through like the motions and stuff like that. And I'm currently on a break from my older kids. I don't know. There's just, I had to set some boundaries. And so it's one of those things where like you try so hard to fix things and make things work and stuff and you just exhaust yourself. And I've just had to set that boundary, and I've just given it to God, and I pray for them, and I'm just letting God do his thing.
Well, you know that he loves them more than you could ever love them, so
Are
he'll
you sure? No.
so he'll take care of them.
Yeah. And I don't know why it's so hard to just like give it over to God, you know, but I felt like these are my kids, like,
Yeah.
you know, but it's just they're in his hands now.
Yeah. Well, God proves himself time and time again, but with every trial, it's like still hard a little bit to trust him.
Yeah.
Especially when especially with children, he gave you those children. You know, and yeah, there's a time where most of it you should be giving them back to him. Yeah. So like in your parenting of adoptive children and just being a mom, what is the advice you would have? Like, what are some things you've learned in that journey through the really good years of having a lot of fun and the hard years with parenting teenagers? What would be advice that you would give to
Anything that you think like, oh, my kid would never do that, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought, you know, like, even in the foster classes, they're like, oh, well, the kids will do this and this, and I'm thinking, not my kids. Yeah. Yeah, they prove you wrong. What would I say? Can you repeat the question again?
It was long-winded, and I don't know now.
What parenting advice would you give?
Yes, that.
I think in a way, like, they're going to be who they're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you teach them the basics and stuff. And it's more so like, I felt like maybe I should have done some more just guiding and letting some natural consequences happen instead of like trying to save them or, whatever. But yeah, it's a journey, and you got to have grace on yourself, and you just do the best with what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And trust God more with your kids.
Yeah. It's exhausting otherwise, it seems. And then with struggling with infertility, what advice would you have for a woman who would be struggling with that?
I would say, to put your trust in God, and it might be hard to trust His timing and stuff, but reach out to other people and talk about it, and there's other ways to be a family than having a biological child.
Yeah.
So hold up, something just came to me. You've mentioned like 2 or 3 times now that you went to Africa, but we never asked you why did you go to Africa?
Yeah.
So one of my best friends at the time, her daughter is like a youth leader, and she does like this whole thing over in Africa with kids over there and stuff. And so my friend was like, let's go to Africa. And I was like, okay, it's a very long plane ride, which I did not enjoy. And we slept in tents and listened to wild dogs at night. And we had a van that didn't start on its own. You had to push it to start it. And you had to wear skirts, but I had shorts on too. And your facilities were a hole in the dirt. And so this whole Costa Rica trip, missions trip,
Pretty bougie.
really, yeah, like it's pretty. I'm like, you guys are spoiled. Other than like taking a cold bath in like a pot or something like that, And so we went, and
What part did you guys go to?
Malawi. Yep.
And where is that for people who
It'd be
are not
like on the
familiar?
east side. Yeah.
It's East Africa. I've never been there, so I was hoping it was somewhere in the west or
Yeah.
North Africa. I've been.
But it was
places.
very interesting, and I was kind of more the type where like I wanted to help the women like cook, to see how they did things. Like one thing was interesting is there was a guy that was making bricks out of clay because he had to build a house before he could marry this woman. And I'm
We
thinking,
should bring that back.
I'm like, what kind of effort? Like that?
Yeah.
You gotta really like
You're
the
earning your
Yeah.
woman. You're gonna make bricks.
And you have plenty of time to think about whether this is really what you want,
Yeah. Like, is she really worth this house? Well, did the size matter? The size of the house?
I don't know, but I was just
That's so
impressed he
funny.
was making bricks, and I learned that you're not supposed to give them the peace sign. You're not supposed to like go like this. That's bad. And you should ask to take their picture. And I was in a cart with being pulled by an ox. I was being a pretty princess. And, like going to the well with the ladies, and just their feet too. I'm just amazed because like they don't wear like shoes and stuff, and like just it was crazy like what they can carry and what it does to their body and stuff like that.
You
And,
probably had really wide, strong feet.
yeah. And you had to be in by dark because otherwise it wasn't like very safe, and they didn't eat a lot of meat. Goat was a thing that they ate, and I remember we had bought goat, and like they suck it off the bone or something, and I just gave my goat to the kids. I was like, you need it more than I do. So, and you just go and they just kill it at the market, and It was around a time when Obama was in office, and we had people that would come up and like bang on our van, and then they started like rocking it a little bit. And so it was a different.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't understand what they were saying. I was just kind of like, all right, don't wet your pants, okay? Like, just keep it together. But it was interesting too, because it was like I was the minority, and that's a very different feeling and realization. So,
were they interested at all in how you looked? Or they had seen like plenty of white people before?
Well, they see it as like the heavier you are, the richer you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so they all thought I was rich. Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
Yep.
Well, that's I've never been to Africa, but I did go to India, and yeah, that feeling of like, oh, I totally stand out. Like, even though like I'm not much taller than an Indian person, like the average Indian, like my red beard and my blonde hair,
Yep.
and my blue eyes, like there could be like thousands of people around, and I'm the only person who looks other than my twin brother who's right next to me, but I'm like the only person who looks like that. But still, like, I felt like I really connected with people, which I feel like is kind of a cool thing to experience, of like, we're so different, but we're both human,
Yes.
and we can still connect.
Yes.
That's something that has always been really powerful to me about visiting other cultures.
Yeah.
Were those people Christians that you were visiting? Like, because you said it was a mission trip, or
Yeah, it was a mission trip, and so they did a lot of work with like the kids, making sure the kids had like their school supplies and things like that. So it was a lot of time spent with the kids, but of course I wanted to know the behind the scenes, stuff. And yeah, I agree. Like, even though we're from different worlds, like there's still this common thread, and there's like still like people smile when they're happy, and that's like a way to communicate and things like that. And they have Coca-Cola. So yeah, it was quite the experience, and we got up way early one morning just to watch the sunrise, and the guys out there with like the wooden canoes and stuff, like fishing and stuff for the day. So it was a good experience.
Did you get to worship with them at all? I feel like that's when I really feel like, oh, we all look different, but we're worshiping the same God.
They did more so like children's songs and stuff like that. I remember we had sent some of my kids' clothes over like the year before, and then some of the pictures I took, the kids were like, "That's my shirt,"
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so that was kind of cool and everything. But they had been going for years, so they already had a relationship with the people and the kids and stuff, and we were just kind of like
Visiting.
Yeah, the bystanders, or whatever. But it was a cool thing to observe.
Whenever I'm like, especially when I was in grade school, whenever they were playing documentaries of like people in Africa, I would always be so terrified that I'm in it and like in the background starving, or like one of the kids with the flies. Like, I would be terrified. Like, oh my gosh, that's Jerra. Like, she's hungry. Like,
Did you ever like have people taking video of you when you were?
well, I don't know. Like, I don't remember that, but I definitely like did wear some hand-me-downs. So like, I could have very well been one of those kids, and it would terrify me.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we'd be watching these documentaries. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna come up.
I think you might have a little PTSD.
And sometimes I would see a girl that just is brown and has braids, and I'd be like, that is definitely me. No, it's not.
Oh,
Well,
funny.
did you have braids when you were a little kid?
Probably not. It's just all unreasonable. I think I first got braids when I was coming to America. My hair was not done up in Liberia. But I was just scared. It'd be baby Jerra with a fly on her face. And they'd be singing that sad song.
Yes.
Like, isn't that something to be terrified of? And
Yes.
people recognize you. I've always looked like this. So, like,
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways.
I'm glad I've not had to have that.
Not have that
Yeah,
experience.
I've never had that fear either.
You're gonna be in a video with Starfish. Like any brown person could be you, you know? Like,
Could be.
how embarrassing.
Yes. That'd be very sad.
Yeah.
I do know, like, I just had the one tattoo on my shoulder, and they were, like, fascinated with it. They wanted to, like, touch it to see if, like, they could remove it and things like that. So, that was interesting.
What's your tattoo?
It was a like, a hibiscus
Oh, the
flower. But now I've got more.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I have any questions, Joe.
You ran out of questions? All right. Well,
Is it midnight yet?
It's not.
you can look right there, actually.
You-
We have a clock.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Yeah. Do you have any closing thoughts?
No.
Well, one of the questions on the sheet was, what are you passionate about? What are you passionate about now in your life? Like, what are you doing now that just gets you up in the
Fire.
morning?
Gets me up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee. I guess I'm always like seeking to learn new things. I feel like I'm always doing something, but I don't stick with things either. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, this sounds cool. Like, let's do this. And then I'm like, ooh, that sounds cool. I guess one thing I've been trying to build is like my relationship with God, and just, and this is just like in the last maybe 3 weeks, but like doing a devotional every morning, spending time, bringing my Bible to church, like taking notes during the sermons. I mean, I listen to everything they say, but I feel like it's different. Like you're embedding it when you take notes, kind of. And so just being more like intentional in my relationship.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That is. This is, I don't know, but it's just the thought that just popped in my head. So I know you've struggled with your other kids. Do you have any fear now with like Levi? Because he's young. Like, do you have a fear of like the same things are gonna happen, or like?
I don't. I also feel like I'm a different parent now, and I'm much more relaxed. Yeah, I don't really have any fears. I guess the only things would be like genetics with like addiction type stuff with like all of the kids. And it's just more so, and we've always been open with the kids, but I'm probably open with Levi of, like your bio parents had issues with this, and then I'll be like, you know how you don't have issues? You just don't start, you know? And genetics is something that's difficult. Like, my dad and stuff, like I would have had no idea I had, any type of issue. And, sometimes nurture versus nature,
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
But even if I had my own biological children, I could have issues and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is really, so, I mean, at my job, I work with guys who are trying to overcome addiction. And, like, it is really amazing, even, like, there's multiple guys I've talked to where they were adopted at a young age, like, they never met their parents, and then they still end up just like their biological parents. And it's like, some people can discount like genetics, and like it can get really like scientific and like detailed, but really I think it just comes down to like that's the heritage that you pass down, and like that's the way God created human beings, that we pass that down. And we're all descended from Adam and Eve, and we're all sinners, and but like it is really amazing to see that, like, we can come into the family of God, and we can have that be our true heritage.
And our new DNA in the Lord.
Yeah.
Well, and I've talked with them because I think when you recognize that things are generational, like even in my own family, I realize like, well, this is why my mom is like this because this is how she was raised and this is how this went. And I tell the kids like, their parents were in foster care because their grandparents were, doing drugs and stuff. And I can say, you have the choice to like break the cycle and stuff. But they're all kind of like going down the same road. And then I think when their parents were kind of in their 30s, that's kind of when they started getting it together. But I was like, guys, we're like 19 to 23, like 30 seems like a long time down the road. Like, let's start getting it together now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it does seem like people, like the guys that I work with, a lot of them have those wake-up calls around 30. It's like, well, kind of like what you said, having kids, like it changes people.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many guys are like, they have a kid and they're like, I suck.
I can't wait for my wake-up call next year. I need some big changes.
There's just something about having kids that like makes you realize like, oh, these things I've been ignoring and just living with, like they're going to affect this other person in such a profound way.
And you want more for them, And I tell my kids, like, I want you to be better than me, and I want you to be more, like, emotionally mature and stuff before... I mean, I'm still probably not emotionally mature, but
More so than you were.
Like, I just want you to be, like, more than what I was at a certain age and stuff. And it's not, like, a competition thing where...
Yeah. Well, and it's so important that you're telling them that they have the choice to make a change because I know, like, in like the Black community, they're telling kids, police are out to get you, and maybe the only way you can make it out of the ghetto is sports, and just limiting, or all the white people at school hate you, your teachers hate you. Because I had my mom's brother, but he was younger. Because of weird family things, but he was convinced that like white people were out to get him, and like his teachers hated him because he was Black, and it just felt so limiting. Because if you just go through life thinking that things are not your choice, you're not going to try. You're gonna find yourself maybe in a really bad situation and think you have to accept it, and that's just it. And then you don't have a growth mindset. You don't have a mindset to do better and at least take responsibilities for the mistakes you've made in your life because you think it's everybody else's fault. If it's everybody else's fault, then nothing can change.
Yeah.
And I just so much dislike that.
Yeah. And I think even like people that are like poor and stuff, like some of them just think they're just stuck. Like this is the way it is.
Yeah.
Like I'm always going to live this certain way. And I guess in my job too is I just try to treat everybody as a human being and with respect, and it doesn't matter how much money you have or what color you are and stuff, as long as I treat them with respect and like you are important and stuff. Like some people are kind of like, oh, people like don't talk to me like that and stuff. And I think it's important. You never know who's crossing you on the street or what they're going through and stuff, which can be good and bad, because there's a lot of weirdos out there.
Well, and they're made in the image of God. They're image bearers. They have inherent, I think that's the word, value in them. And I think too, like the contentment, people can mistake contentment like just I'm content with my life. I'm content with all the problems I have. And it's like, okay, there's contentment in, being thankful for the things you have and where you are. But then also there's nothing wrong with like wanting to be better too, and like grow and change and improve.
Well, and you don't always have to be the victim.
Yeah,
you do
not
you have
to
the
be victim.
choice to have a different, mentality about it.
So yes, maybe your parents did do drugs and it gave you like a harder start.
Yeah.
But you have choices that you make now.
Yep. And you have the responsibility for your own choices, and it's not everybody else's fault. And yes, I have these talks. in my house on a regular basis.
Well, and then to the reminder of like, just because you've made a bad choice doesn't mean it's forever and you're stuck.
Yeah.
There's change, and then there's redemption from Christ that sets you free from those choices. That gives you a new life. You're not just stuck in the path of your past mistakes. Old Jerra does not have to have there's not a chain tethered to me in everything I've done, you know, before Christ. He breaks that chain, and I think that's another mindset people maybe who are not believers can get stuck in is, well, I'm just too far gone. It's just too late for me. I've done too much, and that's not true either.
Yeah. I think of that song, and I'm not going to sing it because I've been told I'm a horrible singer, but
Well, John Gross sang when he was on a
Yeah, you can do
podcast,
that.
so I think you could sing.
no, like, seriously, I've been told I'm a really bad singer. Like, on your worst day, I'm a child of God. On my best day, I'm a child of God. And so I remind myself of that, you know, like, when I'm striking out, you know, like, you're still a child of God and you're still valued by God. So sometimes I pin up different things next to my desk and little sayings and things like that.
It must make the day a lot less scary. If, you know,
I'm not scared of anything, Jerra.
whatever happens today does not take that away from you.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, Alisha, thank you so much
All right.
for...
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for being on our podcast. You just did the offensive
Oh,
sign.
yeah.
We're going to spread it all over Africa.
Africa.
You're not going to be welcome.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody.
Peace out.